Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm 29 years old, and today I'm going to tell you about the most toxic mother-in-law you could ever imagine. This woman literally tried to break up my marriage, and she almost succeeded. When I first met my husband Jake 3 years ago, I thought I'd found my soulmate.
He was kind, funny, successful, everything I'd ever wanted. But there was one problem I stupidly ignored. His mother, Linda, absolutely hated me from day one. I remember our first meeting like it was yesterday. Jake brought me to their family barbecue, excited to introduce me. Linda took one look at me, gave me the fakest smile I'd ever seen, and said, "Oh, so you're the girl Jake's been wasting his time with? Not nice to meet you." Just pure, ice-cold hostility. Jake laughed it off. "Mom's just protective, she'll warm up to you." 3 years later, I'm here to tell you, she never warmed up. She got worse, much, much worse. But you know what the really messed up part was? Linda was a master manipulator. In front of Jake, she was this sweet, concerned mother. Behind his back, she was my personal nightmare. The passive-aggressive comments started immediately. "Sarah, honey, that dress is so interesting. I guess not everyone can pull off that style." Or, "Jake used to date such elegant girls, but I'm sure you have other qualities." Always with that fake sweet voice and poisonous smile. Have you ever dealt with someone who makes you feel crazy? Like, you know they're being horrible, but they're so subtle that when you try to explain it, you sound paranoid? The real torture began when Jake and I got engaged. Linda went into full sabotage mode. She accidentally scheduled Jake's friend's wedding on the same day as our engagement party. She forgot to invite half my family to our dinner. She kept suggesting we postpone because these things shouldn't be rushed. But here's where it gets twisted. Linda started working on Jake behind the scenes. "Sarah seems so stressed lately. Are you sure she's ready for marriage? I ran into your ex Emily at the store. She looked so happy. Did you know she's still single?" Jake started coming home with weird doubts. "Babe, do you think we're moving too fast? My mom thinks we should do couples counseling." It was like she was poisoning his mind drop by drop. 6 months before our wedding, Linda dropped the first major bomb. She called Jake crying, saying she'd been diagnosed with a heart condition and might not live to see him get married. She begged him to postpone so she could get treatment. Of course, Jake was devastated. "We have to postpone, Sarah. She might die." So we moved our wedding back 6 months. Guess what happened 3 weeks later? Linda was miraculously healthy enough to go on a Caribbean cruise with her book club. When I pointed this out to Jake, he got angry with me. "How can you be so heartless? She's sick." But she wasn't sick, she was just evil. Did you know what happened next? Linda started telling people I was a gold digger. She spread rumors that I was only marrying Jake for money, that I'd been pressuring him, that I was isolating him from family. Jake's sister Emma pulled me aside and said, "Sarah, I like you, but Mom's been saying concerning things. Are you really trying to keep Jake away from us?" I was so shocked I couldn't even respond. Wedding planning became a war zone. Linda insisted on being involved in every decision. She hated my dress, too revealing for church. She hated our venue, not elegant enough. She hated our menu, what will people think? 2 months before the wedding, Linda played her MasterCard. She told Jake that I had screamed at her over the phone and called her horrible names. Complete lie. I'd never even raised my voice to her. Jake confronted me that night. "Sarah, my mom is in tears. She says you were incredibly cruel. What's going on with you?" I tried to explain I'd never spoken to her that way, but he looked at me like I was a monster. "Why would my mother lie about something like that?" he asked. And honestly, I couldn't answer that, because normal people don't lie about things like that. But Linda wasn't normal. That night, Jake suggested postponing the wedding again. "I think we need to work on some things." I could see it in his eyes. His mother had successfully planted doubts about me, about us. I was devastated. I called my best friend Michelle, crying hysterically. "She's going to win. She's going to break us up, and there's nothing I can do." But Michelle said something that changed everything. "Sarah, you need proof. If she's lying about you, she's probably lying about other things too." So I did something I never thought I'd do. I started recording my conversations with Linda, every phone call, every interaction. I felt terrible about it, but I was desperate. And oh my God, what I discovered was beyond anything I could have imagined. 2 weeks later, Linda called me while Jake was at work. She was drunk, I could tell by her slurred speech, and she went completely off the rails. "You little bitch," she hissed into the phone. "You think you can steal my son from me? I've been working for months to show Jake who you really are. And it's working, isn't it? He's starting to see what a manipulative little gold digger you are. I was recording everything. My hands were shaking, but I kept the phone on speaker and let her keep talking. Jake belongs with someone from our social circle, someone who understands our family standards. Not some middle-class nobody like you. I will never accept you as my daughter-in-law. Never. But here's what really floored me. She continued. And if you think I was really sick, you're even dumber than I thought. Heart condition? She laughed. The only thing wrong with my heart is that it's breaking watching my son throw his life away on trash like you. She admitted to lying about being sick. She admitted to spreading rumors. She admitted to manipulating Jake. All of it recorded. When Jake came home that night, I was sitting at our kitchen table with my phone and tissues. I'd been crying for hours, not just from anger, but from relief. Finally, I had proof. Jake, we need to talk, I said. And you need to listen to this recording. But do you know what happened next? I watched his face change as he listened to his mother's voice spewing hatred about me, admitting to her lies, laughing about manipulating him. His jaw dropped. His face went pale. And then, for the first time in months, he looked at me with complete understanding. Sarah, he whispered, I am so sorry. I had no idea she was capable of this. We sat up all night talking. Jake was devastated. He realized his mother had been poisoning him against me for months, making him doubt his own feelings. He felt betrayed, manipulated, used. The next morning, Jake drove to his mother's house. I went with him. Linda opened the door with her usual fake smile. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Sarah, dear. All sugar and sweetness. Jake held up his phone. Mom, I think you should hear something. As soon as Linda heard her own drunken voice through the speaker, her face went white. The mask slipped completely. No more fake sweetness, just pure, ugly hatred. You recorded me? She screamed. How dare you invade my privacy? How dare you lie to me about my fiancé? Jake shot back. How dare you pretend to be sick to manipulate our wedding? How dare you spread lies about the woman I love? Linda tried to backtrack. Jake, honey, I was drunk. I didn't mean those things. But Jake wasn't buying it anymore. No, Mom, you meant every word. And you know what? You were right about one thing. You are losing me. But not because of Sarah, because of you. Jake told his mother that if she couldn't accept me and treat me with respect, she wouldn't be part of our lives. Linda went ballistic. She screamed, she cried, she threatened to cut him out of her will. But for the first time in his life, Jake stood up to his mother. Then I guess we're done here, he said, and we walked out together. But this isn't where it ends. The wedding was 3 weeks away. Jake called his entire family and played them the recording. His father was horrified. His sister Emma called to apologize for believing Linda's lies. Several family members said they'd always suspected Linda was manipulating situations. Linda tried everything to get Jake back. She called crying, saying she was sorry. She showed up at our apartment uninvited. She even tried to get Jake's father to intervene. But Jake had heard her true feelings in her own words. Our wedding day was beautiful. Linda didn't come. Jake had uninvited her. His father walked him down the aisle instead and gave a speech about choosing love over manipulation. But do you think Linda gave up? Oh no, this woman was relentless. For the first year of our marriage, she launched a harassment campaign that was truly unhinged. She sent anonymous letters to my workplace claiming I was unstable. She created fake social media accounts to leave negative reviews of my business. She even called police claiming I was threatening her, completely false. Jake had to get a restraining order against his own mother, his mother. Can you imagine how painful that was for him? The harassment only stopped when Linda's own sister sat her down and told her she was destroying her relationship with her son forever, that she'd never meet her future grandchildren, never be part of Jake's life. It's been 2 years since our wedding now. Linda has attempted to reach out a few times, always through other family members. She sends birthday cards that Jake throws away unopened. Last month, we found out I'm pregnant with our first child. Jake's father is over the moon. But we both know Linda will probably escalate when she finds out she has a grandchild she can't see. Jake's been going to therapy to deal with realizing his mother is a narcissistic manipulator. He's had to grieve the mother he thought he had, to accept that the woman who raised him was never really the person he believed her to be. The saddest part? Jake keeps saying, I should have protected you better. I should have seen what she was doing. But how could he? When someone spends your entire life conditioning you, it's almost impossible to recognize their manipulation. I've learned so much from this experience. I've learned that toxic people don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they look like concerned mothers. I've learned that gaslighting is real and devastating. But I've also learned that love can survive even the most determined attempts to destroy it. Jake and I are stronger now than we ever were before. We've been through hell together, and we came out the other side. To anyone dealing with toxic in-laws, trust your instincts. If someone makes you feel crazy, if their behavior doesn't match their words, if they consistently undermine your relationship, that's not love, that's control. And remember, you can't change toxic people, you can only change how you respond to them. Sometimes that means setting boundaries. Sometimes that means cutting contact completely. What would you have done in my situation? Would you have recorded those conversations? Would you have been able to forgive your partner for initially believing their toxic parent over you? Let me know in the comments, because this could happen to any of us. Toxic in-laws are more common than you think, and they can destroy families if you let them.